Hello everyone. I regret to inform you that the episode you are about to see is unfinished. I have decided to release it in this state as the layout on which I film on has changed too much to continue using these shots, but I didn't want all this work to go to waste. I have also upgraded or replaced several of the models used in filming, and so characters would look vastly different between scenes. It's a shame this series didn't continue, as this would have been the first episode using the brand new title sequence, and this episode would have given some hint to Lord Devon's past. However, writer's block and trouble with models just meant I wasn't able to film anything. Ooh, a blurry monochrome background. Wasn't past me fancy. This is the establishing shot for the episode. It was supposed to show Tim and his crew working really hard on a cold, wet evening. Presumably sometime in winter. The notes that I have for this sequence in my script archive are incredibly limited. I know it was supposed to be a back and forth conversation between the driver sat on the bench and the fireman still up on the footplate. And there was a Beatles reference in there somewhere, but other than that, there is not much information to go on. After a joke about a Sgt. Pepper's curry and a glass onion, the driver decides to report his condition to control. We then see the camera pan out to a lonely fogman's hut, with a new character called Herbie Brouillard. Now I thought I was being rather clever at the time, as the spelling of his last name is the same as for the word fog in French. The script says that a thick fog would have rolled in, and Herbie would see a shadowy figure lurking around the station and call out to him. "Hello? Is anyone out there? I'm warning you, you shouldn't be here. The yards are closed for the night. Honestly, Derek, if that's you again, I'm gonna come get you. Don't scare me like that. Hello?" He gives chase to the figure, but loses him in the fog after falling over. Then tells Mr. Matthews the next morning, who passes the info on to any passing engines to be on the lookout for a mysterious stranger. We later find that he stole a driver's uniform to escape police. After knocking out Tim's real driver with a swift blow to the back of the head, and stowing his body in some bushes near the yard. But now you actually get to see what little of the episode was produced and voiceovered all the way back in 2019. Early one morning, Tim's driver was suddenly taken ill. He went very pale and could hardly stand. Because of this, Tim now couldn't take his morning goods train. So, Mr. Matthews had to telephone for a replacement. However, this did not take long, and soon he was stood on the platform next to a man Tim had never seen before. Hello Tim. This is Mr. Thomas. He will be your driver for the day, and he will be helping you on your deliveries. Now, he is new to the island, so he may need a little help. However, I believe together you two can be really useful.
Okay, sir. We just need to wait for the signal to go green before we can be off.
Good. Okay, Mr. Thomas, if you'd like to just step in the cab. Okay, sir. I'll get in now. And then, with an ear-to-ear grin, he strolled onto the footplate. Okay, Tim, let's get going.
Pull hard, we'll do it. Pull hard, we'll do it,
sang Tim as they rumbled out of the station. Don't make such a fuss! Don't make such a fuss! Grumbled the trucks. As Tim puffed round the bend, the sunlight made his boiler feel warm and his brass gleam. Tim and Mr. Thomas had to work very hard through the day to get all the jobs done. It was so hot that Tim felt like his buffers would melt. As the end of the day drew near, they both became very tired, but they both knew that they had been really useful. After the sun had set, a cool breeze blew across the island. It curled round Tim's funnel and made him feel much better.
No, sir, I'm so tired.
Okay, mate, one last job to do. After this, you can go and have a nice rest in the sheds.
And the 2019 narration finishes here. However, I'm assuming, because the dramatic music continues, that the plot would have closely followed that of Pirate from Tugs, where the wagons are then taken to an undisclosed location to be dealt with by one of Mr. Thomas's business pals. As we have already established, he is not Tim's actual driver. The ultimate ending, as written here, says that Mr. Thomas disappears into the woods, which would be live action footage of me wearing a heavy military coat, flat cap and a knapsack that I apparently will have made out of a broom handle and a red handkerchief. But it says connected to Lord Devon somehow, either a crooked scrap merchant or someone he has paid for info on Vanessa, most likely from his past, no doubt. Luckily, this second draft of the ending goes into a little more detail. As you can see, it calls it Mystery Man, which is what it has been referred to in production, not the new driver. Saying that Mr. Thomas finishes talking to Lord Devon outside of his shed, exchanging information about Vanessa. He then disappears into the woods, never to be seen again. And it then says, camera cuts back to Lord Devon and pans around to show a shot of the brake van Reggie. Now, Reggie was a character I never got the chance to introduce, but he would have been a derailed brake van covered in weeds that would have heard the entire conversation, so he knows all about Lord Devon's dubious past, all about his situation, his connections, where he came from, everything. And it was going to cause a massive problem if this information got out. And there's nothing really more to say now. So, if you did enjoy that and would like to hear more about other episodes that were never produced, I never even started filming, never made it past the writing stage, feel free to let me know, as there is always plenty more to explore in my script archive. But those, as a great man once said, are stories for another day.